Hey, this is the World Advice Channel, a channel where we talk about politics and politically related things. For this video, what I want to talk about is the question that has been going through a lot of people's minds now, which is the question of did Ukraine try to kill Vladimir Putin? More specifically, did the Ukrainian president and some of his intelligence try to assassinate Vladimir Putin? For this video, I will answer that question for anyone who is curious in a very logical and straightforward way. So let's get started. With answering that question. The first answer to that question simply comes down to the fact that the answer is an absolute no. Because the truth of the matter is why I truly don't believe the Ukrainians try to kill Vladimir Putin or assassinate him, whatever he likes to claim, is simply due to the fact of these two exact reasons. Now, the first reason is simply down to the fact that the truth of the matter is that well, down to common sense with the way the world works nowadays, is the fact that people nowadays do not kill people directly in that type of way. People nowadays, it's funny because these accusations of Vladimir Putin are making it so funny. But yeah, back to the point I was making before is that people nowadays do not kill people like that. People nowadays kill people in a way where they make it look like they died from natural causes and so on and so forth. People nowadays do not kill people in a very direct and straightforward way. And that's the truth of the matter about the way the world is. The CIA, if anyone who understands the CIA, and some of the stuff that they did is like decades old methods that they don't even use anymore. So for crying out loud, these are decades old methods, what does that show you about today? About killing people or trying to assassinate people, which is that the truth of the matter is that the CIA, to answer that question, back in the days, decades ago, used to try to kill people in unconventional ways. Instead of trying to kill them through like shooting them or like stabbing them or something like that, and make it look like they killed themselves. Like, for example, they would go into someone's house, hang him and make it look like he killed himself or something. Or the more one they would prefer to do. They would try to poison him and make it look like he died from something like alcohol poisoning, or he even died from natural causes. These are all things the CIA in the past used to do to people they wanted to get rid of. Because the truth of the matter is that obviously killing someone directly would create outrage and anger, which of course they don't want, and especially with the fact that Vladimir Putin has been diagnosed with cancer. It's obvious common sense that it'd probably be very, very, very easy to kill him if they really tried to assassinate him in a way that not only would work but would be believable. When it comes to someone like Vladimir Putin, to make it look like he killed himself by accident. In all honesty, which I'm certain they can find quite a bit of people to do that, especially with how notoriously corrupt the Russian government is. But either way, the truth of the matter is to sum things up as easily as possible. The idea that they try to kill him is simply unfounded. As the truth of the matter is that to kill someone directly is not something these people do anymore. That would create a lot of problems, that would create a lot of outrage. It's harder to do, and so on and so forth. So obviously that's something that is in the history books at this point. No one does that anymore. People, if they really truly were in a position of power to try to take him out, would make it look in a more unconventional way. So if that's not their style of how they do things, why would they send a drone over to kill him directly? Which brings me to another point of why there's no way they would do something like that. Because the truth of the matter is, obviously, if they use a violent method like a drone to kill him, the truth of the matter is that now it'd be as clear as day, yeah, they took him out. So the truth of the matter is that if it's as clear as day, yeah, we killed Vladimir Putin, that would be one of the worst things they could do for the Ukraine war, because that'd escalate the war. It would become a case of, okay, the whole world's on our side, to now having, a lot of people who are probably not really on who were probably on their side turning against them, not to mention the fact that actually a lot of Russians are on the side of Ukraine because they realize the war is unjustified. So why would they assassinate him to make it look like oh, to assassinate him in such a clear, straightforward way. So you could have a lot of the Russian population who are either honest against Vladimir Putin, or if anything, even indifferent to the whole subject, now saying, oh, we are pro Putin, at least in memory of him, and we are pro Russian government. Ukrainians had no right to assassinate our president. That would create outrage because people in nations do not take kindly, and history shows it. Even if it's kind of justified, do not take kindly to having their leaders assassinated, whether that person was a likable person or not. People do not like that. Humans in general still have that tribal part of our brain that doesn't like to see things like that. Okay? Not to mention in a world where we kind of look down upon violence in general, for that matter, it would obviously look bad in the eyes of people. Heck, there's people in parts of the world who actually have a legitimate reason to take up arms with how the government treats them, and it's still looked down upon for them to even use violence. So if that happens for even peaceful protesters who have all the reason in the world to be angry with how their government is doing things, why would it be any different for actually assassinating a world leader, whether you like them or not? So that's simply unfounded. Not to mention that would possibly justify, possibly for all you know, a nuclear war. There's a lot of people, even outside of Putin's circle, who do believe who do consider using nuclear weapons as an option to win wars. Okay, so now you're coming from a situation of having a nation like Ukraine that clearly says, we don't, we're kind of scared of Putin because we are kind of scared that he might use nuclear weapons, and I was Putin, like in this case, Russia for that matter. We're scared, yeah, they might use nuclear weapons against us. So why would they do something that they can risk when they're doing so well for the war? The Russians are taking much higher casualties than Ukrainians, and not to mention they're poorly equipped and poorly trained. Why would they risk all the progress they're taking to assassinate Vladimir Putin when that would just escalate the war and possibly could lead to an escalation where they can launch nuclear weapons, use nuclear weapons against Ukraine? Because that's not just a case of, okay, we just attacked a place in Ukraine. It's a case of we attacked a place directly in Russia. Russia says they don't play games when it comes to attacking their nation. They will always use nuclear weapons the moment you attack their nation, no matter what it can, the after effects of it can be. So the idea that, oh, they did it on that was, the Ukrainians trying to kill Vladimir Putin is complete bullshit. There's no way they would ever do something like that. So the simple answer to your question is there's no way Ukraine tried to assassinate Vladimir Putin. It's simply a lie. It's simply a fabrication. He faked it himself to do, if anything. So this is my video. This is all I have to say. If you like videos like this, remember to thumbs this video up and hit the subscribe button. And this is it. And simply put it, later.